Anyway,
What? Yeah.
let's go back. I took some notes about what we talked, and I didn't
Uh-huh.
record the audio. So, and I had, there's a Japanese. She was a Japanese lady. She was at the meetup, and she wanted to hear.
Yes.
So,
Uh-huh.
first thing we talked was that you told me that flat Earth gives you hope, right? Among all
Yes.
the conspiracy, you found some hope in flat Earth.
Hmm.
Let's go back a little
Yes.
bit. What do you mean by giving you some
Okay.
hope?
Because well, even I used to be spiritual, or I'm still sort of a bit spiritual, but I couldn't really. I don't know. I always suspicious about the existence of God.
Okay.
In a way, I
Okay.
believed it, but I didn't believe it because I think we are all. We've been manipulated for a long time since science became priority to everything.
Okay.
So all of us have been manipulated not to
Right.
believe in God anymore. So
Okay.
I think I was one of them in a way, but I was still strongly spiritual.
Okay.
But I couldn't I didn't take it too seriously. But since I convinced about flat Earth, it became my convince. It's definitely we are definitely created by that.
Right.
We are not here by accident. That's the main reason they didn't want us to know. Because
Yes, they're hiding God.
that's how that's why they've been manipulating us not to believe in God and believe in false science instead, right?
Yes, trust in man,
So
science, all that stuff.
when you meet people, almost everyone around me actually, they don't believe in God anymore, and they don't belong to any religious organization. They just don't believe in that anymore. But that's also wrong. And like some of them actually say, after death, it's nothing. No, that's what they believe, basically. But then some people, or lots of people nowadays, believe in reincarnation, which I'm not sure anymore. And I'm sure you don't believe in that because you're a
No,
Christian,
no, I
right?
don't. I don't. There's
But
no
I
way.
don't
I
know.
don't think there is any way. Like we are reproducing, we are multiplying, from
Yeah.
two, from
Yeah.
a couple to billions of people. It can't be, there's no, that's
Yeah, but the
what?
thing is,
Okay, go ahead.
since humans started, all those souls, it's been so many souls, right?
Right,
So
right,
many, millions of souls have been born on
right,
this earth. And where, and it's going to be more and more in the
right,
future.
right, right, right.
And where are they then? That's what I fear. But if it's a reincarnation, it makes sense. Then, because then it's not so many souls, right? Because the
Right,
one
that's
soul
right.
repeats life.
Exactly.
So that's why I'm not sure either.
Okay. Yeah, is this like a
Okay?
Buddhist? I think that's the Buddhist belief, right?
Yeah.
That reincarnation?
Yes, that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
That's how, like, especially in India, that's why they control the poor people. You are
Right.
poor now, but you'll be all right in the future. Then they had a hope.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's how it started.
Right. Like, oh yeah, you do it. Just do what we tell you to do, and next life you're gonna
Yeah.
be upgraded.
Yeah. Something like that.
Right.
But then, as I said, when you think about the number of souls which have been born in this world, so many. There are so many. So where are they after they died?
Right. Yeah.
And what's going to happen to those millions and millions of souls?
Okay.
Can you answer me?
Well, the Bible, that's interesting because, Christianity tells us that there are two places, one for those who do good, let's say, like who uh, obey the commandments, believe in Jesus Christ. And there is
Yeah.
one place that it's hell. Okay, they call it hell,
Mm.
where all
Yeah.
those who commit weakness will go. You know, and
Yeah.
I was just listening to Pastor Dinaldo. I enjoy listening to Pastor Dinaldo. He's the flat earth pastor, and he was
Yeah.
explaining this point. And why? Well, because in fact, I think you must agree with that. There are some good people and there are some bad people, and there are people who really love doing bad things, harming other
Yeah.
people, making other people suffer. So there must be punishment for these people. Otherwise, I
Yeah.
mean,
But
let's all
but
be
even
bad.
so, Eddie, even so,
Hmm.
this number is going to increase more and more forever.
Right, it will for as long as, not forever, because
Why
there will
call
be
it
an end.
souls? I can't believe it. I
No,
can't
no, there
believe
will be an
it
end. There will be an end. There will be an end.
will be now.
Yeah, well, an
None.
end. Yes, like the Bible says, like when everything, the heaven and earth will
Yeah.
pass, and there will be
Yeah.
like everything will be made new, and we will be like the angels. There will be no more marriage people. You're not gonna get married and have more babies. No, this thing will stop. We will be
Uh,
like
uh,
the angels, and we won't be getting married and being reproducing. No, there will be an end to it. It's what
yeah.
they call the new creation. That's what they call the new creation.
Okay. Like when you grow, uh, even after you die,
Hmm.
some people will grow, right?
Right.
Or most people, I don't know. But when they really grow, they don't have to be just one anymore. It doesn't mean, it's no reason to be one. So all those souls become one or something. You know what I mean? It's not
Like
individuals. It's not going to be individual
no, I
anymore.
think there will be individual. The Bible says like each one of us will receive like a new name,
Yeah.
and I think we will have our individuality. We will have our individual. I think our
We will
individuality,
have individuality, but
we never lose it.
okay. But it will be so crowded. Will be so many souls there, up there,
Maybe
or down there. I
yes.
don't know.
Well,
That's
that's the thing about the flat Earth, because according to the Bible, there will be this new city called New Jerusalem where we all will live, but that
yeah,
city is the size of North America or Australia. So
yeah,
everyone who did good or obeyed the commandments and follow accept Jesus will be leaving
yeah,
this place. Everybody else will be out. So there will probably be a higher number of lost souls than
yeah,
those who make it. That definitely, that's why the Bible says large is the door that leads you to hell, but very
yeah,
narrow is the gate that
yeah,
leads you to heaven. That's what the Bible says about it.
yeah. Okay.
So I think there will be a bigger number of people going to hell than, of course,
Uh,
souls going
yeah,
to heaven. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Then also, when I see people here,
Hmm.
I it's not easy to distinguish if they are good people or bad people.
Exactly.
Even
Very
they seem good,
very difficult.
for me, most of them are quite bad, to be honest.
Right.
I used to like more people. I mean, I used to like people more, but
Right.
now I basically I don't have much respect to most of them anymore,
Okay.
because I just see what they are, how stupid they are, to be honest,
And yeah.
and
Yeah.
how not honest they are, that sort of stuff. It's very hard to find anyone who I can truly respect.
Okay. I
There
understand.
aren't any people like that anymore, or never been. I don't know. I mean, everyone has a good side, of course, good side. or bad side.
Okay.
And even bad people have some good side, even better than good people sometimes.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. Yeah. Interesting. You touch it. You touch a very interesting topic, because there is a passage in the New Testament that, Jesus says, even you who are evil know how to give good things to your children.
Yeah.
He was saying, like, even evil people give good things to their children, make them happy. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Okay, and I don't know where the really good parents actually. Like when I see people, grown-up people, I don't really see they're so great. But those people are all parents, and even as a parent, the way they bring up children, the way they deal with their children, maybe it's good for a while, but since it's not forever, you know what I mean? They can be good at their children,
right?
But if they're not good at other people, then how can you say they're good parents or they're good people? I don't think so.
Okay.
You can't be just good at your own children just because they are your own children. That's ego. If they're not your own children, you don't love them, do you? Right? That's like that.
Yeah.
Most people are like that. They say, "Oh, I love kids. I love my kids. I love my children," because they're children.
Right.
They don't love other children, right?
Right.
So I don't call it. It's a love. It's just ego.
Right. Yeah. I understand your point.
So
Totally.
anyway, yeah. So for me, that kind of thing, to understand in that way, it's very, very important. To observe yourself is so important. Any organization, even it's a good movement like Flat Earth, it can be destroyed anytime because of the relationship.
Yes, just like it happened.
And people, wherever you go, people always have same problem.
Right.
In any organization, and I've been seeing that so many times, and I don't know what to do about it anymore.
No, I think I talked about that in a video a couple of years ago. I think I thought there's no hope on the flat Earth, because even if everyone accepts flat Earth and starts being taught in schools, we will still fight each other. We will still destroy each other. We will still hate each other. Yes.
So we can agree about flat Earth, but it doesn't mean that we can all love each other. We can start fighting anytime because all of us have ego, and they don't accept their own ego. They always criticize other people, but they don't criticize enough to themselves.
Right.
Because they don't observe themselves well.
Right.
The flat Earth theory is good for some people because then they don't have to talk about themselves. They can create their enemy outside of themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in that way, I don't always trust people, even in flat Earth.
Okay. Yes, we have to pick, sometimes, and I have had sometimes to unfriend people from Facebook.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like, it gets really weird,
Yes.
But I know, I have been trying to be friends with most flat earthers, but I have to admit that I try to connect more with people that we think alike, because even there is this guy, I like him. I have exchanged messages with him. We have replied to each other. He knows me, I know him. His name is Dave Murphy. You know this guys from England.
Yeah. The black guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
I saw his video sometimes.
Right.
Yes.
We have
He
talked
talks
in
about
the
his
past.
urine, doesn't he? He talks about the
Yeah,
urine.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's that. That's
Yeah,
that.
I know him. Yeah.
So the thing about him, well, we have talked a lot. Some, not now, like 2 or 3 years ago. And my
Yeah.
problem with him is that, like you and I, like you're not a Christian. You already told me that, but I live in a country like Japan. It's not a Christian country,
Yeah.
and I get along with everybody here. I talk to
Yes.
my children's teachers, and I go to meet.
Yeah.
I have students. But the problem
Yes.
with David Murphy is that he attacks Christianity in a vicious way, as if Christianity is the only thing wrong in this world, when there's so many other things wrong, And that's my problem. So, well,
Okay.
why do you pick on
Yeah,
Christianity
yeah.
only?
I know why he said that, because the Roman Catholic stuff.
Right. Yes.
Of course, then you can't accept them.
But, we
But
cannot
I know
pay.
Christian. Yeah.
That's my problem with him. So we were writing to each other, and I told him, well, if you pick only on Christianity, I mean,
Yeah.
there are so many things wrong in Africa. They do the tribal things, they do the evil things with each other. Even in the
Yeah.
Amazon, some of
Yeah.
Indians, they fight each other there, and they're not Christians at all. You
Yeah.
look at so many parts in India.
Yeah.
And he picks on Christianity only. So that's my problem with him. So even though he's a flat earther, I don't listen to his channel anymore. Every time he starts speaking, he starts
Yeah.
talking about Christianity in a bad way. So I don't listen to him anymore, even though he's a flat
Right.
earther.
Yeah, but the thing is, all religion, all of them, as long as they have organization, it's all, it's basically run by those people,
Right.
bad people, because they want to create conflict between them.
Yes.
And
yes,
I used to get involved in some Buddhist organization, and I got really, I was so disgusted by them always. But I had to try. I had to understand how they were working,
Right.
and all of them really disappointed me. But they talk really great philosophy in a way,
yes.
and I like some philosophy from Buddhism. But it's all same, basically.
Right,
basically same. And the Buddhist philosophy, in a way, it's deeper than Christian Bibles. Oh, I never read Bible, so I shouldn't talk like that. But that's
Okay.
how I felt.
Okay.
I simply liked those philosophy. But then, what I realize now, those evils, they really create a kind of complicated theory about spirituality. And if the more they make it complicated, the more people get confused, but then kind of respect, because people always have a complex about those complicated theory, because they can't understand. Then they sort of admire it.
Okay.
Same as science. If you don't understand some complicated science, then you think it's great. But that's how they do. They make it complicated
Okay.
on purpose.
Yes,
Even they don't understand.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. That's how they created those science, right?
Right,
To make
right.
it really complicated.
Yes.
So nowadays, I don't trust if people talk in that way, because I feel the truth is quite simple, really.
Yes.
It's not that complicated.
Yeah, I learned something. Like I never thought about this before. Those Jehovah Witnesses that come to your door and give
Yeah.
you. So someone told me, I know I lived in New York City, and that's where their
Yeah.
their headquarters is located in New York, you know?
Sorry, who are they?
The Jehovah's Witnesses, you know those guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they are very nice people, and when they come here, sometimes I invite them in. I like talking to them, but the thing is, like their headquarters is the headquarters is in New York. Okay, it's a big building.
Yeah.
It's a huge building, and they have like a hierarchy. You know, like there's a president or whatever.
Hello.
So hey, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
So their headquarters is in New York. Okay.
Yeah.
So someone told me all those guys on top, the presidents or whatever they call, they are Freemasons, you know? So that explains everything, you know? People, they come to your door here, they don't know, but their handlers, the top ones, they are all Freemasons, and they are all connected to the same deceiving group, you know?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And the same with the Mormons, same thing with the Mormons, they are Freemasons, the top ranking. And probably the Baptists, which I am a Baptist, but I don't go to Baptist church anymore. And the Catholics and all those people, you know, they are all connected to these secret societies.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Even like the biggest Buddhist organization in Japan,
Right,
you know that one.
And
the big Christian organization in Korea.
Yes.
They are all run by same people.
They all make secret signs, you know, like Freemasonic signs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was surprised, you know, the Assembly of God is, it was always a good church for me. But the Assembly of God also, they had some pastors now. They are all Freemasons.
Yes. So you don't go to any churches anymore.
I don't go to church. I don't go.
Yeah. So you can't find any Christian organization anymore.
Well,
that's what you mean.
Yes and no. I'd like to go, but see, the problem is I work on weekends. You know, I think I told you. It doesn't matter. Some people, you have to keep Saturday, have to keep Sunday. But I work on weekends. It doesn't matter. I work Saturdays and Sundays. You know, so I don't go to church. I wish I could go. I enjoyed the time I went, but that was like years ago, you know. Now I try to listen to sermons online.
Even you can't trust those organizations, you still want to go?
The problem is I want to talk. Like I had a good pastor when I was young, and he was the one who told me, listen, a Christian must come to church. A Christian should not go to secret societies. A Christian should not be member of any secret society. And I remember that pastor, he told me. So he was a good pastor in my opinion, you know?
Right.
So I wish I could, if I go to a church today, I would ask the pastor, what are your thoughts about secret societies? Do you belong to any? I would probably be asking questions, you know, before joining
them. If they belong to, then they won't tell you.
Exactly. Sometimes they lie. You're right.
Yeah. But anyway, So, so all my question in the past about those Buddhist organization, it made sense. It makes sense now.
Right. Once you found out about Flat Earth.
Yeah. And also even so-called New Age spiritual people.
Okay.
Why most of them are so hypocritical? Now it makes sense, you know.
Yes.
And I've met so many gurus.
Yeah.
And I didn't like any of them at the end. I couldn't trust them. But I suppose I was always looking for someone to lead me or, you know, to teach me and all that sort of stuff. But I don't need it anymore.
Okay.
Because I know now. Yeah. So,
you talked about your father, right? He was very like a nationalistic. And very interesting. So I took some notes here. He used to say, of course, back when he was, he lived in the time before the war, right? The Second World War.
Yes.
Okay. So in his opinion, Japan was the best country in the world. Which probably, I think the Japan is still, it's a very good country. I like it here. I lived
Yes,
here
yes.
like 22 years ago, and I always
Uh-huh.
wanted to come back. That's why I'm back here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm really divided if my daughters have to go back either to the US or if they decided to live
Yeah.
in New Zealand. I don't know
Yeah.
because I really enjoy Japan. I like it here, you know.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I like
Right.
how the people they get along, you know, like with each other. It doesn't matter whether you're
Yeah.
Buddhist or
Yeah.
Christian, you know, you all get along. We
Yeah.
all get
Yeah.
along.
Yeah.
You know, I really enjoy it. You talked about like he was a proud nationalistic Japanese, and you
Yeah.
grew
Yeah.
up in a different generation. You were more
Yes.
influenced by the American culture, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
But to the problem, the thing, not the problem, but the thing is, we were all influenced, you know, because Americanism
yes.
spread all over, including South
That's
America.
right.
You know, in Brazil
Yeah.
and
Right.
Europe, you know, France and Italy, it spread all over because
Yes.
Americans were very smart in spreading their TV shows everywhere, the American style,
Yes.
American way of life, music. It kind of
Yeah.
influenced everyone, you know. You talked about like you wanna know other countries or other cultures. You had like
Yes.
right now.
Yes.
I don't know how much you know about Brazil. Let's talk about Brazil a little bit
Uh,
because my
I
channel
don't
is
know.
Flat
Yeah.
Earth Japan, Brazil, US
Yeah.
because I lived in
Yeah,
all these
yeah.
three countries. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Now Brazil is a very racially mixed country, extremely, extremely. Like I read a book, not a book. There's a video out there. You remember probably you studied in school. There was a war between the North and the South in the U.S. Right, the Confederates
Yeah.
and the Northern. So when the South lost, a whole bunch of families immigrated to Brazil. They didn't want to
Yes.
live under the North rule, so they immigrated to Brazil. So what happened is when they arrived in Brazil, they saw that in Brazil there was no racial tension.
Yes.
And this American guy who he ended up marrying a black woman in Brazil, you know, and having
Uh-huh.
mixed kids. So he writes
Yeah.
about it. He never thought about something like that would happen to him, you know. And in Brazil,
Yes.
like when I grew up, when I was a kid, I used to play soccer, and my team, there were like black guys, there were Japanese, you know. We all played soccer
Yes.
together, and there was nothing, never, ever about anything about race. We were all kids, and we were all playing. Oh, this is the best player. We want to be with him or her. You know, there was nothing about race because there was nothing dividing us. You know, it was pretty nice actually.
Right.
And so I had this experience of growing up with kids, Japanese kids or black kids or white kids. We had blue-eyed boys, you know,
Yeah.
and we never had this problem. So I never had to explore this side that you had probably to leave Japan to
Yeah.
live, you know. And
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
you see that in New Zealand. New Zealand's, I
Right.
found it very interesting there because there are a lot of intermixed racial marriages there.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right. Yeah, yeah.
So tell me a little bit about you, when you were younger, did your parents tell you to marry Japanese men, or what was your upbringing?
No, no. My parents sort of knew right from the beginning. I was not the typical Japanese child.
Right.
My father used to say, "You're the alien."
I see.
You know,
You were the black sheep
you're
of the family.
alien. I was so different from everyone, not only in my family, but in school. Or I was just so eccentric.
Eccentric, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
one more question about Flat Earth, okay?
Yeah.
Have you been in touch, either here in Japan or in New Zealand, with any other Japanese
Yes.
thing about Flat Earth? Have you shared your, what is the response?
None whatsoever. That's why I'm so disappointed. I'm so frustrated.
Okay.
I need someone to talk. At the moment, it's only you.
Okay, but
Can you believe it?
there are, and I am trying to gather more people together as we were speaking right now, I was actually writing an email to somebody in Tokyo, and I'm going to try to get together. I have made pamphlets in Japanese. I need to start spreading them around, and I'm trying to grow the number of Japanese people who, believe in flat Earth.
The problem in Japan, flat Earth theory in Japan, because it's not many good information in Japanese.
Exactly, but we got one guy, Junji. He's in our group. He translated 200 proofs into the Japanese language, which is an amazing.
You mean he translated Eric?
Yes,
Dubé.
from Eric Dubé into Japanese. He translated, and I want to
bring a book.
Well, I have asked him. We have already the PDF format. 200 proofs in Japanese. But I think he wants to go over one more time and correct that, and like proofread once more, so we can have like a final copy and maybe have it printed and published.
Great.
Yes. So we're making progress slowly.
I'm going to order his book soon.
Okay.
Especially that one is best, right?
Yes, I really enjoyed 200 proofs in Japanese.
Yeah, I have to read that.
Okay.
Is it a big book? Thick?
No, it's not. 200 proofs. It's just the same thickness as the English copy is, which is not too thick. Yeah.
Right. So so it's not going to be on YouTube in Japan.
Well, I'm going to ask him if he can read in Japanese, and we can make like a video book.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yes.
Because it's just not enough information. And what I heard, they're trying to not to publish YouTube in Japan about flat Earth. Is it true?
I don't know. I have written a couple of guys, Japanese
really
guys.
Not enough.
Probably they are afraid, because Japanese people are smart. If they start figuring things out, it's gonna be like, wow, and that's why. Because I know Japanese people. If they find out, they will go over and research it. And I mean, I know it. So probably that's true. They're trying. But I'm trying very hard, and handing out flyers and talking about flat Earth. Yes, I'm thinking about going to a subway station and start doing that stuff.
Oh, really?
Yes. Yes. For real.
Are you not going to be threatened? You think?
I don't know.
All right? You're not scared?
I never know. Maybe the Yakuzas come after me. I don't know.
Yakuza. Maybe Yakuza don't know anything about flat Earth.
Well, maybe they need to hear about flat Earth.
One question, Eddie. There are so many pilots in the world, and also sailors. How do they not to know, or even if they know, how they can keep secret? It's only a few pilots spoken out.
Well,
but
because
most of them don't talk about it.
I know. Well, because they don't want to lose their jobs. If they speak out, they will lose their jobs.
Lots of them have left the job, right? When they retired or something, and they may want to even change their career or some more. What I feel, how can they keep secret in such a big numbers? That's really hard to understand.
Okay.
Because there are so many pilots.
Okay.
You can't.
First thing you need to understand, pilots. Believe it or not, I've been researching this stuff, and we just watched it. Some pilots don't fly their planes. The planes fly themselves. Number one, the plane, the autopilot, they do everything. They do all the calculations. Pilots they check when they go to the cockpit. They check if everything is working fine. But planes fly themselves. That's the first point you got to see. But
So
the
most
captain.
of them don't even know.
Listen, I flew from Dubai to Japan, to Tokyo. As soon as we were 40,000 feet, I remember well, the captain went to sleep.
Yeah.
He announced He was going to sleep.
Yeah.
He left the cockpit and he went to a room there somewhere.
Yeah.
He went to sleep.
Yeah.
He slept all night. Okay?
What's that? Sorry, what's the deep?
Sleep. He went to sleep. He went to take a nap.
Sleep.
Sleep.
Okay, yeah.
He announced, as soon as we were like at 40,000 feet, we were flying Dubai to Tokyo, to Kansai actually, to Osaka.
So that means they don't have to do anything.
They don't do anything. The aircraft does everything. All the calculations done. Everything is already done.
But how about in old days? They must have known.
The old days, everything was based on the flat Earth map. Just get the map. They have the 1945 World War II strategic map.
So they knew it was a flat.
Of course. Of
And
course.
then they couldn't talk about it. They couldn't.
I don't think it was
That's
much of a subject to the back then, but
Yeah.
they knew, of course they knew. Yes.
They knew.
Yes, they knew.
Wow.
They knew. The Earth has always been flat. It was never a globe the first time. All right, we have 2 minutes. I gotta cook food for my daughter. She's coming home at around 12.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna edit this and
Okay.
okay.
Right.
All right. So
Let's
it was
talk
nice
today,
talking to
okay?
you
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Good luck on
Okay.
your speech.
Yes. Thank you, and have a good day.
You too. Bye bye. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Eddie.
Bye.
Bye.
When you think airplanes are flying over above Earth and then
Scare in the air for passengers on board an American Airlines flight. The pilot warning everyone on board that they would be landing.
you realize that an emergency landing
But first this morning, a Qantas A380 carrying about 400 passengers had to make an emergency landing at Perth Airport earlier this morning.
makes more sense on the Gleason's flat Earth map. It's in this moment that you realize
A second emergency landing in less than 2 weeks.
that the Earth is not a spinning ball.
Last night here, we reported on that emergency landing here at
Breaking news, here is a live look at the San Francisco airport where a flight from Hawaii was forced to land because of a medical emergency involving a flight attendant.
Bogota to Frankfurt, emergency landing Manchester only makes sense on a flat Earth map. Hong Kong to Los Angeles, emergency landing in Alaska only makes sense on the flat Earth map. Chicago to Doha, emergency landing in Moscow only makes sense on the flat Earth map. Paris to Shanghai, emergency landing in Siberia only makes sense on the flat Earth map. Flight routes and emergency landings, the physical properties of water, the compass, gyroscope, radars and lighthouses, the lack of curvature, all point to one simple truth, that the Earth is